Grade 9, the time for you to direct all of your efforts to preparing for the final examination has arrived. And if you want to walk into the final examinations and if you want to write your final examinations fully prepared, it is imperative that you come and study with NETA. You must study NETA, you must attend all of NETA lessons, and whenever you're engaged in the activity of studying, you must make sure that you do that with NETA, because with NETA on your side, you will be able to achieve a level 6 and level 7 in your natural sciences, mathematics, and your other subjects. Because your poor performance from term 1 to date has been a full and a clear demonstration that your educators have been consistently failing to ensuring that you achieve level 7 and level 6 in your math, in your natural sciences, and in your other subjects. It is time that you stand firm and decide to stop that nonsense of being the victim of a poor performance from one term to another, because your final examinations are your final time of the year. If you fail your final examinations, you have to repeat the same grade. And in order to stop that from happening, in order for NETA to stop that nonsense from happening, you have to study with NETA so that we will stop it and you will proceed to the next grade. Now, the task at hand has instructed us to simplify a fraction. And whenever you are given a fraction to simplify, there are few approaches that you must never afford the luxury of forgetting them. I'm going to show you those approaches, and I need you to put on your listening ears. Now, when you have a fraction, there is an observation from the fraction that we can clearly make out. Now, we can observe that your given fraction has got two terms in the numerator and one term in the denominator. And because there is two terms in the numerator that have been connected by your denominator to form a single fraction, the first approach is that you have to reverse that observation. What I mean is that because these two terms in the numerator have been brought together to form one fraction by the denominator, you have to reverse it. By reversing it, I mean that you have to make them two fractions. Now let us put that into practice. What I mean is that you will do that through allocating your denominator to each fraction, to each term in the numerator, and then you see this is how we reverse the observation that we are seeing. We are simply going to allocate the numerator to each term of the we are going to allocate the denominator to each term of the numerator to make two fractions, because we have two fractions of the numerator. Now the second thing that you must do is that you have to simplify each fraction individually. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then there is one thing that is happening here. You're going to have to divide x cubed with x squared, and the rule says, this is the rule that has existed 10,000 years ago, and it's still going to exist 1100 years to come. So you found it and you have to apply it. The rule says that if you are dividing basis of this you are dividing numbers of the same basis, you have to subtract the exponent. Our base is x, so x and x are the same base. What we do is that we subtract the exponent of the numerator with the exponent of the denominator, and we get x. The same thing happens with our y. We subtract the exponent of the denominator from the exponent of numerator, and then we get y minus 1, because it's 1 minus 2, which is negative 1. And then the same thing happens to simplifying the other fraction. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then when you have your same basis, you have to subtract the exponent, because why? You are dividing. Now it's going to be 4 minus 2, which is x squared, and the same thing happens to this one. It's going to be y 3 minus 2, your 3 of the numerator subtracted by the 2 of the denominator, which gives rise to y 3 minus 2 is 1, which is y. Now, another thing that happens that you can see from your answer is that you have a negative fraction. You have a negative exponent. And in many cases, you will be told that a negative exponent must be converted to a positive exponent. Now, how do you do that? That is a simple task to do. What you do is that you have to convert it into a positive exponent through converting it into 1 over that number. So whenever you have x minus 2 to the exponent x minus 2, you're going to get the value of x 1 over x squared. You can see that the exponent has been turned into positive by converting it into a fraction of 1 over the base. Now that is the principle. That is how we convert a negative exponent to a positive exponent. Now the same thing will happen to that one, which is 1 over y plus this side. There is nothing that you can do. It is fully simplified, and then which going to give rise to plus 5x squared y. Now this is how we solve our given fraction. Make sure that you always stick to the approach if you want to fully solve it, and fully solve it in a manner that is in a correct way. Now this is simplifying is very simple, and if you want to understand the geniusness of simplifying, you have to make sure that you are studying with NETA, because from term 1 till to date, your teachers have been demonstrating that they are not any way close to making sure and ensuring that they push you into understanding. That is why you have been failing, and that is why you have been achieving poor performances.